Think about that feeling you had as a kid, when you would turn off the lights in the basement, a room, or a hallway, and you would just dash straight to your room. That is the feeling FNAF 4 gives you. Dedicate your heart with me to complete one of the hardest FNAF games, because there's this one thing that it does so well that I hate so much, and that's fear. An unpleasant feeling triggered by the perception of danger, real or imagined. The good news is that I've even experienced fear once in my life. A long time ago when I was a youngling, I was watching Hajime no Ippo eating my Domino's pepperoni pizza with the cheesy breadsticks. You cannot forget the cheesy breadsticks. Later in the night around 2 AM, I felt a rumbling in my stomach. It was probably that combo with the fudge brownie ice cream. Although years later, it actually turns out that I'm lactose intolerant. Like, when the f did I develop this? Anyways, as I head to the bathroom, I turn on the nightlight in the bathroom. And you may be wondering, why not the entire light? Look, I was in the hood. Every door and crack was uneven. If that light was noticed from my parents' room at 2 AM, it's a wrap for me and my little culo. As I sat there doing my business with the quietest farts ever, and making sure those bloops are bloops, I felt something hairy on my toes. The feeling of panic surged straight into my heart as I heard a hiss, and immediately jumped from my toe onto my knee. But luckily, that was one of the rarest moments of my life of my knees not being ashy. I mean, look at these things. I could literally start a fire. As I screamed, shook, and kicked it off of me, I fell off the toilet. And it ran away looking back at me. But that, my friends, is not fear. Fear is when you don't wipe your ass and your mom walks in worried and concerned. Then she helps you get yourself back together and takes you to your room. But she notices the box of Domino's and ice cream. Then she looks at me, slowly. And I hear the OST in the background. That alone sent shivers straight down my spine. You know, I seen the inner light that night. I'm curious about you though. Do you think you have a better story than I do? Go ahead, comment down below and I'll probably share them in the video. But while you ponder on that, go ahead, grab yourself a snack, turn down them lights, and get your flashlights. This night one was a little different. You didn't start with a phone guy, you started alone. And I think that's what really got to me in the first night. Usually night one isn't too bad. This is not fun. This is night one? No phone guy, no nothing. And it's the fear that any little noise you hear creates such an anxiety. I don't want to do this already, bro. Something about this one don't feel right. It took me a few minutes to get used to this. I actually died a few times here. That pure silence is gonna get to me. It's gonna get to me like Listerine. Watch out for I go in between your cheeks and burn you alive. I really was contemplating about even making this video. Mainly because the first time I died, it took me about 20 minutes to get back to it. But a few days later, I'm back to it, and I'm dedicated to beat it this time. All the way through. Now with 4 days away, we're allowed to leave the bedroom. But I'm noticing that the Golden Freddy plush is following me through the rooms that I enter. As I enter the second room, he's there. So I decide to try to confront the plushie. But unfortunately, it was a trap. I was jump scared by this man in a foxy mask with 2 fingers like he's part of the swiper gang. Now the boy's crying. But then, tomorrow's another day. Now I have to say, night 2 is basically the same thing. But it was a little bit less tense because they're more aggressive. But with now Foxy joining the fray, that was not a fun experience, I can say that. 3 days away and we're trapped in what appears to be a Freddy Fazbear's location. Someone who knows that we hate it here, left us here. And as the voice tells the child to run to the exit, the boy gets up and is discovered by an employee. As the boy enters the next room, he spots 2 animatronics in the background and is told to find some help. He sprints across only to trip by air and gets confronted by the employee. But tomorrow's another day. If you've played FNAF, you already know this trend. Night 3 is when things are about to get to the point where you really gotta start thinking about what you do. And it'll be a good idea for me to understand the Nightmare animatronics. Nightmare Freddy comes with smaller Freddy plushies that appear on the bed. I have to turn around and look at the bed to flash them, but if I fail to, Nightmare Bonnie is on the left, just like in FNAF 1, but this time I have to listen closely to the breathing sounds, and if I hear heavy breathing, I gotta close that door right in his face. Nightmare Chica is also just like her FNAF 1 counterpart. Right side, Chica has the same rules and mechanics as Bonnie here. And here's my favorite one, Nightmare Foxy. He's just trapped in the closet, so realistically I have to listen to his movements, and if he's too close, flash his eyes and close the door. 2 days left until the party and we're back in the pizzeria. But this time we get to leave. While we're leaving, I'm noticing that there's children and I'm assuming that they're the victims of Springtrap. But let's point out the man himself, Freddie G. Now before you start leaving comments ready to throw me in a dumpster, you cannot tell me you didn't think the same. We eventually end up back home and we're navigating back to our bedroom, the safest place with our friends. Are you serious? For the first time, Night 4 became another monster. Like sure, Night 4 was hard previously, but I have no idea what Scott did. But man, it's like they went from Kaioken straight to Super Saiyan 3 in the Saiyan Saga. I'm talking about Takamura versus Hawk. I'm talking about Baki versus Ali. I'm talking about Blue Hollow Ichigo versus... Okay, you get it. Wait, you're telling me that this man locked us into this creepy room with... Okay, the next time he eats Cocoa Puffs, I'm putting in rabbit shit. Night 5 was the biggest change up I've ever dealt with. I mean, in FNAF 1, 2, 3, and plus, they all have the same patterns, and you deal with them until night 6, 7, 2020 mode, whatever. But then here comes Nightmare Fredbear. He comes in and changes the entire game. Like, the stress that this man created himself is crazy. He literally threw away my pattern recognition skills. Like, I don't even think Baba could have expected this. It's the day of our party and we're surrounded by teenagers who for some reason decide to bully us. One of them suggests that I should be taken in for a closer look. Bonnie and Foxy lift me up and carry me to the stage, but no matter how much I shout, we're taken in from one room to the next, up until we're with Fredbear. As we panic, they lift me up and place me in Fredbear's mouth, but moments later, the tears of the boy cause the spring locks to trigger, crushing him, while the group just stares in awe. So you're probably wondering how night 6 went. Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me. I'm sorry. You're broken. We're still your friends. Do you still believe that? I'm still here. I will put you back together. The boy no longer believes and passes on alone.